My name is Celine. I'm 24 years old, and this is the story I carry like a quiet weight. A year ago, I made a mistake. Not the kind you can laugh about later. Not the kind time erases. This was the kind of mistake that hurts someone you love, deeply, permanently. And the worst part, I knew exactly what I was doing, and I still did it. Her name was Myra. We were friends for 6 years. We studied together, laughed at the same jokes, told each other everything, things we'd never dare say out loud to anyone else. She was the sister I never had, the kind of person who would notice when you were quiet, the kind of friend who remembered your favorite tea and brought it without asking. One day, she told me she had met someone. His name was Liam. He's tall, she said, smiling. Kind, funny. You'll like him. I told her, I'm so happy for you. And I meant it. Until I met him. It started small. Just conversations at group dinners. Shared stories. Laughter. I didn't even realize it at first. But somewhere in between the smiles and the eye contact that lingered too long, something inside me shifted. I told myself, stop. You're imagining it. He's her boyfriend. But every time we met, we talked more. He remembered the little things I said, and when he laughed, I felt something I didn't want to feel. One evening, I got a message from him. I like talking to you. My heart raced. I stared at the screen. I could have ignored it. I should have. But I didn't. I told him, we shouldn't be having this conversation. You're with Myra. And he said, I feel something different with you. I didn't know what to do with that. Was it wrong? Yes. Did I know that? Absolutely. But there was a part of me, a selfish, hungry part, that wanted to be chosen. Not as a backup, not as a best friend, but as the one. And in that quiet war between guilt and longing won. We kissed one night. It was quiet, quick, but it was enough. Enough to cross the line. Enough to break everything. We started meeting in secret. And the worst part, Myra kept smiling at me, kept calling me bestie, kept trusting me. Every time she looked at me, I felt like I was disappearing into a version of myself I didn't recognize. I had never felt so seen by someone I wanted, and so invisible to someone I loved. Then the day came. Myra called me, her voice shaking. I saw the messages, she said. Then silence. Then just one question. Why? I couldn't answer. I couldn't explain the betrayal in a way that made it less cruel. All I could whisper was, I'm sorry. She hung up, and just like that, 6 years of friendship vanished. Liam said, now we don't have to hide anymore. But I didn't feel free. I felt hollow. The girl who used to laugh with her best friend over tea was gone. All that remained was guilt. So I tried to make it work with Liam. Told myself it had to mean something. But it didn't. Not really. He wasn't what I loved. He was just what I chased. For attention, for validation, for the feeling of being wanted. 2 months later, I ended it. And then came the silence. I wrote to Myra more than once. Told her I was sorry. Told her she didn't deserve what I did. Told her I'd give anything to undo it. She never replied. And I understand. Forgiveness is not something we can demand. It's a gift. One she doesn't owe me. Now I carry this story not as a scar, but as a lesson that love, Real love doesn't come at the cost of hurting someone else. That feelings, no matter how intense, are not an excuse for betrayal, and that once trust is broken, you can't glue it back together with good intentions. If I could go back, I would choose Myra. I would choose the friendship. I would stop myself before the line blurred. But life doesn't go back. It only goes forward, so now I try to be better. I try to be honest, to stay with discomfort instead of hiding behind desire, to remember that what feels good in the moment can cost you the things that mattered most. So if you're listening to this and you've made mistakes too, know this: you are not the mistake. You are who you choose to become after. My name is Marin. I'm 25 years old, and there are some stories we don't choose to carry. They carry us. I never imagined mine would be one of them. I've always believed in people, not blindly, but with the kind of faith you build over time, through birthdays, late night calls, the quiet "I'm here" when no one else notices you've gone quiet. That's how it was with Tessa. She wasn't just a friend. She was my person. You know, that one person you tell everything to, even the things you don't say out loud to yourself. That was her. We met at 20, both a little lost, both hungry for connection in a world that often felt too fast, too loud, too shallow. And somehow, in each other, we found a kind of stillness. We didn't have to explain ourselves. We just fit. We celebrated every tiny thing. A new job, a tough day survived, a good cup of coffee with no rush. She saw me, the real me, and I saw her. I didn't think that kind of bond could break, until it did. His name was Eli, and he came into my life quietly. There was no lightning bolt, no drama, just this calm, thoughtful man who made the room feel softer when he entered. I liked him right away. And what surprised me even more was that he liked me too. We took it slow, long walks, long talks, the kind where the world disappears and all that's left is the space between your words. I remember the first time I told Tessa about him. I was glowing, nervous, but glowing. She smiled and said, "I'm so happy for you." And I believed her. Why wouldn't I? At first, everything felt perfect. Tessa and Eli got along. We'd go out together, the three of us, laughing, sharing stories. It felt safe. I remember thinking, I'm so lucky. My best friend and my boyfriend. What more could I ask for? But sometimes, luck has a shadow, and I didn't see it creeping in. I started noticing things, small at first. The way her eyes lingered on him a little too long. The way she laughed too hard at his jokes. The way he seemed distracted when we were together. I wanted to brush it off. I told myself I was overthinking, that this kind of love, this kind of friendship, was bigger than jealousy. I didn't want to be the insecure girl. I didn't want to question people I loved. So I stayed quiet, but the quiet started speaking. Eli began replying slower. He was busy, tired, not himself, but I saw him online, posting, chatting, and still nothing to me. A part of me started to ache, not just from doubt, but from the slow realization that something sacred might already be slipping away. Then one day, His phone lit up while he was in the kitchen. I wish I hadn't looked. I wish I could say I respected his privacy. But something in me needed the truth more than I needed dignity. The message was from Tessa. I miss you. Can we meet today? I remember the exact moment my body stopped feeling like mine. Everything went quiet. My heart didn't race. It stopped. I stared at the screen like it was speaking a language I didn't want to understand. When he came back, I asked, straight, plain, cold, why is she messaging you that? He looked scared, not guilty, just scared of being seen. It's nothing, he said, but silence has a way of making lies louder. That night, I went to Tessa. I didn't scream, didn't cry. I just needed her to say it wasn't true. She smiled, said they were friends, said I was being dramatic, but her eyes, they looked away, and in that moment I knew. I asked her one more time, begged her, really, please just be honest. A few days later, she sent me a message. I like him, and he likes me now. I'm sorry. There are heartbreaks that crack you, but this one, it hollowed me. I didn't just lose a partner. I lost my person. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I walked through the days like I was haunting my own life. I didn't understand how two people who claimed to love me could choose each other, knowing what it would do to me. But the pain had its own rhythm, and eventually I had to choose, stay broken or start rebuilding. It didn't happen overnight. Healing never does. I started walking again, listened to music that didn't need me to be okay. I found conversations that didn't feel heavy. I met people who didn't need me to shrink so they could shine. And one day, without realizing it, I laughed again. Now I don't hate them. I don't even wish them harm. I just don't want them back. They made their choices, and I made mine. I forgive them, not for them, but for me, because I deserve peace, and I deserve to love without fear. I used to think trust was something you gave. Now I know trust is something you build and something you protect, and above all, you must never trust someone more than you trust yourself. If someone shows you who they are, believe them. Two stories, two hearts, one shattered by betrayal, the other broken by the weight of having caused it. Marin trusted too deeply and was left with silence. Celine followed a feeling and was left with shame. But beneath all the details, all the names, all the pain, there's one truth that connects them both. They both loved, and they both lost something they didn't know how to keep. It's easy to look at stories like these and choose sides, to point fingers, to say she was right or she was wrong, to turn pain into judgment. But healing doesn't live there. Healing lives in the space between, in the tears that fall quietly when no one sees, in the apologies that never arrive, in the lessons we learn long after the damage is done. Because sometimes we are Marin, we trust, we give, we believe, and the ones we love most walk away. And sometimes we are Celine, we feel too deeply, we choose too recklessly, and we hurt the very people we swore we'd never lose. Maybe you've been betrayed. Maybe you're carrying the weight of guilt. Or maybe you're somewhere in between, not sure what side of the story you're standing on. Wherever you are, this is for you. To the one who's hurting silently, you didn't deserve what they did. Your love wasn't too much. Your trust wasn't foolish. You were real. You showed up. And yes, you were let down. But their choice was never a reflection of your worth. Let the pain teach you, not to harden, but to be wiser with who you open your heart to. You are not too soft. You are not too trusting. You are brave for still believing in people, even after they broke you. Keep your softness. Just carry it differently now. And to the one who made the mistake, you are not unforgivable. Yes, you caused pain. Yes, you should have stopped. Yes, you will carry that regret for a while. But you are also human, and you get to grow. You get to change. You get to become someone who would never make that choice again. Shame doesn't have to define you. Let it shape you into someone softer, more honest, more whole. You don't need to punish yourself forever. What matters now is who you're becoming, and to both of you, you are allowed to begin again. Not because you've forgotten, but because you've learned. Because you now know that love is not just about feelings. It's about responsibility, about presence, about protecting the people who trust you with their heart. There are no perfect people in this story, only imperfect souls trying their best with what they knew at the time. But what makes this story powerful is not the mistake, not the betrayal. It's the reckoning, the stillness after the storm, the choice to rebuild differently, slowly, with more care. So wherever you are right now, whether you're sitting in the wreckage of someone else's choice or carrying the quiet ache of your own mistake, let this be your moment to pause, to forgive, to reflect, to begin again. You are not your past. You are your practice. You are your promise to become better, to love more honestly, to live with integrity, even when it's hard. And no matter how far you've fallen, you are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not beyond peace. This is the healing. This is the quiet work of becoming whole again. One honest choice at a time. One boundary. One apology. One act of courage. To trust or to let go. To forgive or to stay true to yourself. You are walking home to yourself, and that is the bravest path of all. Thank you for listening to this story. And if it touched something in you, don't let it stay silent. Let it guide you